Good afternoon to all. Online this talk organized by INAE Mumbai chapter. Lately, right, this today we have a speaker of practice at IIT Bombay, and she is going to talk on entrepreneurship. Let me have a brief introduction. Lost some time in. Mr. Narasimhan is Professor of Practice with Desai Sethi School of Entrepreneurship at IIT Bombay. She joined her alma mater IIT Bombay after 24 years of corporate experience as a strategy and marketing professional. She has been responsible for creating and nurturing brands in diverse categories like consumer goods, lifestyle, and telecom. She worked with Titan Industries, part of Tata Group, Hindustan Telecom, Unilever, and was Vice President of Marketing with Britannia, India's oldest and most preferred food company. In her role as Professor of Practice, the foundation course Introduction to Entrepreneurship, which has over 200 undergraduate and postgraduate students registered. The hands-on activity-oriented course where students are taught fundamental concepts and they travel the journey from a jump of an idea to participating in a business plan. Anu is also involved with capstone course Technology Venture Creation. He is currently finishing her doctoral program from Singapore Management University, and she serves on board of Africa Food, Rwanda, and Frontier Nutrition Bangladesh. She is an engineer from IIT Bombay and did her post-graduation in business from IIM Bangalore. She is happiest meeting people, solving problems, and volunteering for causes. So I now request Ms. Anuradha Narasimhan to take over and enlighten us on entrepreneurship.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. What I want to tell all of you here at NITI, today I came by the front door to NITI. When I was a student at IIT, we used to come from the pipeline road here. And your view of public is much better than our view of public, for sure. So thank you for. Oh, this is Bihar.
So we don't view Powai like at all.
No wonder. I was like, how you have such a nice view of public. Okay. Much better.
Yes.
No access to this lake at all. Yes. One disclaimer. While I talk to you about entrepreneurship, I'm someone who missed the entrepreneurship bus. I graduated from IIM Bangalore in 1992. India had started liberalization process in early 1991. In fact, our chief guest for our convocation was Manmohan Singh when he was the finance minister. So I was telling someone that we had such good jobs that we missed the entrepreneurship bus, and it's a regret. I'm hoping that I'll make up for it by being a champion of entrepreneurship and by helping provide ecosystem support to. So personally available to all of you. My email ID is on the last slide of my presentation. Anyone who has an idea can reach out. I will not tell you whether your idea is good or bad, that I'm not qualified for. But what I believe in, what the School of Entrepreneurship at IIT Bombay believes in, is that entrepreneurship can be and must be taught. It's a science. It is art and science. So there are concepts and there's frameworks and they need to be taught. And equally, they need to be done. Can't do, it's not like, I see a video and try to learn swimming on the floor of this room. No, you have to actually swim to learn swimming. Similarly, you have to do entrepreneurship to learn entrepreneurship. So our courses are very activity oriented. And I thought it would be smart calling the title of my presentation To Be or Not to Be. As Shakespeare was one of my favorite writers when I was at school. So I went back and wrote To Be or Not to Be. That's from Should You Be? Is it a good career opportunity for young people of today? And you'll know my answer in 4 slides. So just give me those 4 slides to give you an answer. Thank you to NITI and thank you to INAE for inviting us. And for coming from far away to come and listen to and participate. Thank you. So, it's such a prevalent word today, entrepreneurship or startups or ventures, that if I just I just put Indian startups into the Google search bar. And I pulled out only 4, but there were many more that came up. And there are 2 types, as you can see. There is one type, 11,000 and counting. That's how bad startup job losses are. Is someone writes, then market reality is catching up. But equally, please look at the dates on some of these. That's May 17, 2022. This is yesterday or day before yesterday. It says we have 51 gazelles and 71 cheetahs. All that means is they line mein khade hain. They will soon be unicorns. That's what it is. So this year started with a little bit of bad news for the startup world. Money has not frozen. Money has just slowed down from the flood that it was in last year. That's pretty much all that is happening currently today. And the VC money that's slightly slowed down is making all of us think harder about what we need to do to be more profitable and not just burn money. So that's all that has happened. For me, this is not the biggest driver, although for many people, this is the driver for entrepreneurship. Every day we learn about unicorn. Unicorn is a company which has $1 billion valuation. $1 billion is 7,200 crores. That's a fair rate. And the number that India has is 100, which in and of itself is a wonderful number. Sometimes we are 100 unicorns. See the chart at the bottom and those of you at the back. All that it says is there are some countries that start and become unicorns in 3 years. This is 0.9. We take almost 8 years. But having said that, last year in 2021, we had a unicorn go from registration to becoming a unicorn in 6 months. Then some brands became a unicorn. So the world's the oyster. You can make anything that you want out of it. The chart at the bottom tells you that our unicorns are in fintech, software as a service, commerce, tech, health tech, logistics, cybersecurity. So I personally believe that there is technology in all of them. But it is not only technology, it is technology with a customer and a business model that actually makes it. My answer to be or not to be, the answer is clearly a yes. It's a great career opportunity. And my reason for saying so is this. I hope people online can see my slides. They'll tell us a tale. This I am borrowed from on the site. We had Ecosystem. I like the comparison that. Oh, sorry. Maybe I should not move. So I like the slides that is up here. I borrowed it from Mohandas Pai, who used to be with Infosys. And what he's compared is in the late 80s or early 90s, IT services took off. Anybody who graduated between 89 and 95 knew that Infosys had a job for them. If you were an engineer, Infosys had a job for you because they were hiring at that kind of pace. So that's what he's comparing. And look at the numbers. All of the IT services industry today hires about 4.5 million people. The projection for 2025, which is not very far, which is 3 years away, says we'll have 100,000 startups. We'll have 3.5 million people employed. And we'll probably be the number 2 after the United States in terms of the number of startups and how valued they are. For me, the reason I love startups is actually this. All these names are familiar to you. Swiggy and Ola and Misho and Lendingcard, all familiar names. But what we know is what they provide to us as customers. Swiggy has generated 500,000 jobs of people as delivery people, and they are better paid than they would otherwise have. They have views on how they get paid and whether they are well paid and do they have their insurance and all of that. but they are earning significantly more money than they would have done otherwise. Similarly, Ola has done for drivers across the country. Meesho is a very different story. Meesho is not about creating jobs. Meesho has created micro entrepreneurs. So women in tier 2 and tier 3 cities have become entrepreneurs because it is easy to sell like a kurta or a chain or a necklace or whatever on social commerce. Yeah. So this is what entrepreneurship excites me. The value of job creation and the value of impact that you can make. Whether you are a unicorn or whether you are a bootstrap company but are able to generate 10 jobs. Imagine if you are not a job seeker but are able to provide 10 jobs. That's what is exciting about being an entrepreneur. The rest of my presentation is going to focus on some concepts of entrepreneurship, and I will definitely finish by 4:55. I don't want to run late from that. So here's a simple definition. It says, now change the screen. It's focused on, what is it meant to focus on?
This is Kevin.
Oh, sorry, camera. Should it be, I should not block that with the question I asked. That's okay? Okay. So what I highlighted in red are the words we are going to talk about today. We're going to talk about problem. We're going to talk about creating a solution. We're going to talk about value. And I'm going to spend a couple of minutes talking about value versus valuation. I'm a big believer in value. I'm a small believer or a non-believer in valuation, or a big believer that you create value, valuation will follow. And an entrepreneur is someone who gets something new done. So on this chart, I wanted to tell you that doing your own business or running your dad's business or running your grandfather's business is not entrepreneurship because there's nothing new. Unless you change process, unless you change business model, unless you change delivery, unless you change customer, that's still something new, and that's the fundamental premise of entrepreneurship. What are the opportunities? How do you know an opportunity is good or not? So the first criteria is simple, newness. अगर वो कभी हुआ है नहीं हुआ है, then of course it's a great opportunity. I think cancer cure will be a great opportunity for I don't know how many years to come, because we still haven't found a simpler, less painful way of treating cancer. Think it says desirability. Think cancer example. No longer radiology, no longer chemotherapy, but an easier way of curing cancer. Wonderful it would be. Would it have potential economic value? Would it have profits that come with it? Of course. I mean, unfortunately, that beast is only growing, so there will be more and more people, not less and less people, and therefore it will have potential economic value. The last one is important, whose development is consistent with today's legal, ethical, regulatory standards. Examples, and I don't blame startup for this, they're not pointing fingers at anyone. Sometimes regulation follows. So whether it is crypto in India or it is, what are those vague things called? Joule. And called Joule, or should not be teaching you if you don't know what it is, then forget I said that at all. But electronic cigarettes basically. America just banned them. They were selling them for the last, I don't know how many years, and a month and a half back, they banned vaping devices. So regulation can change at any time. It's just that when it was done, they were following the rules of the land, whether they were legal, they were moral, they were ethical, or they were regulatory. These are the characteristics of opportunities, and that's how you should look at them. But how do you find an opportunity? More often than not, opportunities are found in technology shift. So I don't know how many of you know Moore's law, but chips get faster and cheaper and smaller every 18 months. And the factor has been a constant factor. The example I like to use is, I'll tell you an example later. On societal changes, I have been in small towns in villages in India, and while they have no electricity, they have mobile phones. So the problem is that they can't charge their phone. And there are shopkeepers who will sell you for 10 rupees charging. For me, that's a wonderful entrepreneurial idea. I mean, it's absolutely wonderful. I don't remember what that person pays, quite likely if it is UP or Bihar, they're not paying anything at all, who knows. But they are generating consistent revenue out of it. Market changes, for me, an example here is e-commerce. So we moved from buying in stores to buying online. And several entrepreneurship opportunities came up because of that societal change. How do you recognize an opportunity? And here there are two contradictory thoughts. The first thought is experience helps you recognize an opportunity. The contradictory thought is experience makes you think, yeah, it's not good, or it's too small, or I have done better or bigger. So sometimes fresh eyes are better. So the solution to that is to have a diverse field for project so that you're able to have fresh eyes all the time. The last one is most important. Sometimes opportunities come because of triggers. So COVID has been entrepreneurial world's biggest opportunity. By that problem that came up, ranging from work from home and all solutions to do with work from home, not able to go out and shop for groceries to everything. So that one trigger brought about entrepreneurial opportunities which are going to stay. People have not gone back to work in offices. They are trying to. The companies are begging them to come back 2 days a week at least. Please come back at least 2 days. Please come back 3 days or whatever. But these changes stay for life, which are to do with triggers. Generating ideas is concerned, trend spotting is one. The other is just brainstorming. Sit in a group of 3 people, 6 people, throw ideas, and one room, then only one room. There's no idea is stupid. There's no stupid, dumb idea. All ideas will be explored. They will be accepted, or they will be changed, or they will be thrown out. But at first, you are not blocking any idea. An idea is an opportunity. I keep telling you this some 5 times in this deck because I want you to remember that it becomes an opportunity only when it has a value for a customer, it solves a customer problem, and it has the potential to make money. I'm adding one more dimension here. People like to work on ideas which are close to their heart. One example I just shared with some students in the library was the Red Bus founder. Red Bus sells bus tickets. The backstory of why he started that company was उसे दिवाली पे घर जाना था from Bangalore to Hyderabad, and he could not get a bus ticket. And his name, but he was very sure that there were seats available on buses. It's just that there was no system which connected people who wanted to travel with modes of transport. And that is the story to reasonably successful kind of company. So people have to feel passionately about what they are working on. Last slide on opportunity. If you want to identify an opportunity, the first one is called burning need or hair on fire need. That's do I desperately need this solution? So there are people who wear glasses and who want defoggers for their spectacles. It's a burning need. Somehow we have not found a solution for that. But and with wearing masks, your glasses fog up even more. So it's a burning need, not the whole world. It's a burning need for those who wear glasses and those who wear glasses and masks. So that is the definition of a burning. It's a random example I picked up, but that's an example of someone who has a burning need. And big enough opportunity, focus on the word enough, because everything does not have to be a unicorn or a $1 billion opportunity. Happy with the Bombay में बेच लिया मैं खुश हूँ. Hiranandani, there is enough customers to sell to. I don't have to go beyond Hiranandani to sell some X lakhs a month or X crores a year. So big enough is for the entrepreneurial team to decide what is large enough for them. Scalable business model. If you have managed Hiranandani, can you go to Lokhandwala? Can you go to Sadar? Can you go to etc. etc. The story I told the students earlier was a title. One right salesperson stood up and told us in a meeting that you all are unnecessarily going to Kolhapur and Sholapur and Nashik and small cities. We have only 3 showrooms in Bombay, Java and Hyderabad. And that person said every railway station area in Bombay is bigger than Latur or any of those places. We are not looking at that. And we did. We took that very seriously. And found more data. So Malad at that point of time was 9 lakh. It was bigger than most other cities that we were chasing. So scalability, at what level can it be scalable is important. And differentiated. Are you offering a solution which somebody else cannot offer or is not offering today? And why you? Will people be able to say that you were technologists and therefore you came up with an idea which was very different from somebody else's? So this is it's called the five filter framework for identifying an opportunity. Now I'm trying to teach you how to go about building a solution. So the first part is creativity, where you discover the opportunity. And by creativity, don't assume that it is art and drawing. Unfortunately, the moment you hear the word creativity, people think they have to be graphic designers. So creativity is just your brain thinking in a different way, right? So here you discover opportunities, you generate ideas. Then you do innovation, which is actually product development. And for me, I prefer a hardware product to just an app product. But an app product has as much development. I assure you, as a Netflix consumer or as a Swiggy consumer or as an Uber consumer, the kind of features that those platforms offer have been thought of and created and solved for. So I think that while personal preference because of IIT is to do work with startups that do technology or do products or hardware products, both are equally needed for the world. And, so you keep iterating, you come up with a proof of concept and then you make a prototype out of it. And in entrepreneurship, you take it to market and you launch a product or a service or a solution out of it. The only reason I put up this slide is it is not a linear process. It seems like a linear process. पहले insight करो, फिर problem find करो, फिर no, it's very iterative. So the circles make the point that you never have the right answer, or you cannot say never. But in the early part of the journey, you don't have the right answer till you have iterated a few times. And in this room, I don't know whether the preference is for a market-led opportunity or for a technology-led opportunity. I don't know. But speaking to INAE, I think the first one is what many of us would prefer, is that we know technology. So we often come up with an invention and then you're looking for a market for it. Is there a problem with that? Not really. As long as you take your solution and go and build a prototype and find the right customer and find a segment who's interested in it, you can build innovation from the technology push side. You can also build innovation from the market pull side, which is dead bust. I had a problem. I couldn't go home for Diwali. It was a market-led problem. It was not a solution I had come up with. Because I found the problem, I went and found a solution for it. And this is a little thing to say both work. You know, science can push and market can pull, and there is development in between, and all of this comes together to be an entrepreneurial venture. This is something you will find in every pitch deck of every startup, whether they have registered, non-registered, started, not. And these words are important. And is total addressable market or total available market. That's the outermost circle. The inner one is called SAM, which is what can I serve? How much of the market can I serve? And that's typically dependent on. I make cakes at home, and my driver can go deliver it in Powai, maybe Andheri. But usse zyada, I don't make economic sense out of it. If I have to take cakes and go send them to Lonavala, there's no. So depending on my ability to serve, that's the served available market. What I want you to focus on is the green circle, which is who's your hair on fire customer. It's a burning need customer. And who is the first such customer is that red dot. And I like the Y Combinator statement. It says it is better to build something which a smaller number of users love rather than something a lot of people like. So don't continue to be loyal to things they like. They are more loyal to things they love. So I'd rather be a niche market, which is the second line here. The mass market is Flipkart and Amazon. Everybody is a consumer. All 130 crore Indians are consumers. No problem. Absolutely no problem, but it comes with a lot of investment in terms of acquiring customers and in terms of logistics. Imagine how many warehouses they will need, how many fleets they will need, and so on. Personal preference is for second two, which is niche or segmented. All of you are mobile phone customers. Sure. Huh? There are segments in mobile phones. There is feature phone, which is an easy segment, like 2000 or 3000 rupee, which is without the smartphone. But even within smartphones, other than price, are you able to segment market? There are some which are created for young people. For example, in this wonderful thing called OnePlus, or I don't know what number they have reached, OnePlus 8 or 9 or 10, 10. iPhone has reached 13, but so iPhone is clearly an older audience, and OnePlus is clearly a younger audience. So you're able to segment like that also. It's not only on price. Price is one easy way. The last example is a multi-sided platform. Many of you, when you have ideas, are likely to be multi-sided platforms. Uber is one. They have to acquire drivers also, and they have to acquire riders also. Similarly, Oyo or Ola or Flipkart or Amazon and so on. So customer segments are important to know. Value, I told you I would spend a little bit of time on value. So for me, value is not price. Price is one component of value. Value is the satisfaction that you deliver to a customer, which is not always captured in price. Price is a one-time thing. Satisfaction is forever. Satisfaction and loyalty are forever. So that is what one means by value. What is it that you are offering to your customer, which makes them want to buy you again and again? That's one. And so, and what problem are you solving? What solution? Most technology products are functional, and I'll explain what functional means here. So here, functional means features. So what are OnePlus 10 features and how they were different from OnePlus 9, but there was something. They all improved camera, at least that much to do. So do people buy for functionality or they buy for more than functionality? Buy devoid of. When you reach a stage where people are buying you devoid of functionality, then you have done your job with branding. Nike shoes, people are not turning around the shoe and saying, what does it have? The moment it has that Nike on it, we believe that it's a good shoe. And many of us who buy, or at least in the US and Western market, they buy because they believe Nike's philosophy. Nike's philosophy says, if you have a body, you can be a runner. Not for athletes, it is not for super fit people, it is for everyone. If you have a body, you can be a runner. It's how they articulate there. It's what you are buying. So the brand Nike is about the belief that all of us can be and should be fit. And what do they sell? They sell high quality Air Jordan shoes with Hajar padding, lightweight, and waterproof, and whatever else. What I mean is functional, but people buy for emotional bonds. One example I'll give you of identity means, I used to work in Britannia and we would meet customers. So as in Delhi, your age. One boy said to me, and this is a great example of an insight. He said that जब मैं हल्दीराम खाता हूँ ना, घर के अंदर खड़े होके बैठ के खाता हूँ। मैं लेस चिप बालकनी में खड़े होके। He or that was it. Identified that as a part of his identity. I look cool eating lace chips, but bhujia is very old-fashioned and mummy type. This was his articulation. Right or wrong, I'm not going into. I'm just using it to tell you that that's what identity needs are about. I have an identity need, which means that I wear an Apple Watch and I use an iPhone, for example. I also want to wear Abidia. It's not always money related. I'd much rather wear silk and cotton than wear polyester or because that's part of what I believe in. So that's identity. And the moment people start buying into those views, then we don't look for functionality. Then we just identify with those. Many of you will be like that. I have my son's friends tell me they won't go to Qatar for the FIFA World Cup because they think Qatar's human rights or oil, whatever, are things they don't agree with. I mean, okay. Well, I'm not like that. If I could, I would go. There are people who have views on companies and brands and say, I won't buy from this brand because it is not sustainable, because they don't have sustainability measures. We are not yet there, but we will be there. We will be there. People are, some brand, my niece told me she will never buy because their labor are treated poorly in the factories. I'm like, okay, do you even know how Indian labor are treated here? But that she may not have known, but the one she knew, she was sure she would never buy, for example. So all of these just to tell you that over time, people make their choices on the next things, on what brands stand for, not functionality. If you're playing a functionality game, you will always keep playing that functionality game. I mean, TikTok 15 seconds was great, then Reels came up. Now I want to find new things to do. Snapchat has dropped out of there because the only thing they had was disappearing stuff, which anyone can do. So you have to build more than functionality is the point that's fun to make sure. So we build our value proposition by addressing pains consumers have and by offering them gains. This part, most people get it in so much there. Conceptually, they understand. What I think a lot of people don't get is not to worry about whatever is your value proposition should not be something a competitors already offer. Then there is no point. You may have identified the pain right. You, for example, for example, let's say many years ago when washing machines, they have been doing their research, are, I'm now 25 years, I'm imagining. They're saying that, it's very tough for working women to be responsible for all the household work, and therefore they need the devices to solve their life problem. But who was the competitor? Competitor was the bike. Because they were not competing with other machines. They were not competing with other washing machines. I don't have a need for washing machine because I have a domestic helper who helps with these things. I mean, try selling dish, but all this changed in COVID, by the way. So that triggered dishwasher sales went up like how in the last 2 years. That thing called Roomba, I don't know if you know Roomba, it's like a robot. It cleans the house, yeah, and it just goes and cleans the house. I mean, they ran out of stock. For 2 years, they ran out of stock. Because when women like me who had to do housework, we were not partly capable, partly didn't have the time for it, but also capability, right? So you worry about not just competitor. When people think competitor, they think immediate competitor. But you have to think who is offering the service that I want to offer. That's what competition really is. So a very bizarre example to bring a live competitor. Here is a Google proposition. Google uses a patented page ranking algorithm to make money through ad placement. Okay, and here's another one. Google is the world's largest search engine that allows internet users to find relevant information quickly and easily. So which side resonates with you? The one I read second, but which is on the left hand side, right? Yeah, because it is from the consumer lens. So most value propositions, most benefits have to be from the customer lens. It has to answer for what is it, who is it for, and why is it value. So value proposition, this is the summary. I'm going to, you can share my file. A PDF would be nicer than the PPT, but so you have access to this is all I'm trying to say. All I was trying to do is give you at least your first take on entrepreneurship. That is my objective for today's talk. It targets a customer segment. It explains why a customer should buy that product, like Google. It said largest search engine. Yeah, and they're very clear. It targets a customer segment, and its customer segment says internet users. Now it says internet users, and therefore it's in Marathi and Hindi and Tamil and I don't know how many languages. So for them, internet users did not mean English-speaking internet users. When they said internet users, they meant internet users. So who's the customer? Why should they buy our products or service? What is our product or service? And they can be quantitative, which is bigger, better, faster, all of that, or they can be qualitative, where the Nike swoosh or the Apple design or whatever are propositions by themselves. How do you go about doing this proposition? Basically, you talk to customers. Actually, you don't talk to customers, you listen to customers. most of us go and ask very close-ended questions. In such a situation, in your family of three people, if this happens, will this product be better than this product? The guy will, woman or guy will tell you yes or no. So you have lost insight in it. Because you have asked the question, you as and I have asked the question in such a close way that I have lost insight. So in the early stage of a startup, you should go ask exploratory questions. Please tell us what are the problems that you face when you are thinking of education for your child. Please tell us the problems that you are facing as far as shopping is concerned. People in India love to talk. If you ask a question like that, and then you can start recording. We don't have a problem with being recorded also. All people writing notes, we generally don't have. We're not yet in that security age that the world has reached. So look for non-verbal cues, but go have open-ended conversations. It will help you understand the problem that you are trying to solve for. This I'm going to leave with you. This is a tool, but I'll show you a solved example. How entrepreneurs think of their problem and what they are trying to do. Center of it is what I've been talking about, which is the value proposition. What is the customer value proposition? This is Uber. Imagine Uber had two. Uber had two value propositions. They're confused. Because they are multi-sided platform, they have riders, and this one is reliable and convenient transport. Who's that for? Rider, yeah, traditional source of income. In the Western world, their Uber drivers are people like you and me. When we have our cars, we spend 3 hours a day being Uber drivers for the additional income. They are not run by cab agencies like we have. It says who are your customer segments? They are very broad. People in need of transportation. So everybody. That can't work. At your early stage, you have to narrow it down. Even in Hiranandani, who don't have the time or the ability to bake a cake. Back with my baking and Nabla and whatever story I was telling you. So it has to be a very specific target segment. Then you have to figure out how are you going to get money out of it. Uber says my revenue stream is percentage. You pay 100 rupees for the ride. I think Uber takes 30 or 25 or 20 or 40. That's whatever, some number. So the driver gets the balance, but basically when we make a bill of 100, Uber straight keeps, I think it's 30 or whatever that number that is. But you have to understand that the revenue comes as by selling product, by selling subscription like Netflix, by getting by providing service on top. It's called the business model canvas. I would recommend that all of you should read a few. They are available online and see what are the ideas that you come up with on how to service customers. I'm going to leave this. Don't have the time for it. This is a manifesto which is very self-explanatory. There are no facts which are inside your building. You have to go out and find them. Failure is an integral part of the entrepreneurship journey. The entrepreneurship journey is can be a lonely one. So somebody asked me this question on should there be, should you, so very often people like to do startups with their friends. Because it is a lonely journey. You might as well work with somebody that you know. I'm not saying it's good or bad, but that's the reason for wanting to do that. This more for you and the recent people who were and this it tell you this is the stage hardware product. Start with ideation and then is an R&D lab. You will get some proof of concept. One electrical source from somewhere, some sensors from somewhere, and something. It's called a bread box. It probably costs 50,000 rupees to make a prototype like this. Next one is invention, and you actually make a functional prototype. And you can see that the value of that is deeper. It is more challenging to get that right. It costs more money. It has 5 lakhs. Third is getting some prototype. You can ask any technology person, any technical person, they tell you that's the toughest thing to do. get from a prototype into mass production. Into बढ़ जाता है. The kind of care you standing over the late machine and whatever you get one right, but to get it right every time, that's the biggest challenge. That's the deepest. And you have created a product and you're able to sell it. And here it is not deep. Here it has multiple challenges. There's the production challenge. It has a distribution challenge. I think if you have to reach Jupiter, if your if your business plan said like Google that everybody has to be a user, then you have to reach in Tamil Nadu and Jupiter and Bihar and every other state. Are you capable of doing that? And what are the challenges that come with that? The good news on this page is there is support available. The Indian government and several educational institutions are doing everything they can to find support, either in the form of labs or in the form of prototyping centers or incubators or accelerators. That was the larger point I was trying to make on this slide. Not so much that the values of death are there. They are there. You can't wish them away. But the support system that you have, if any of you haven't seen the startupindia.gov website, please go see it. Huge set of networks, resources, classes, online sessions. They connect you with mentors. Many of that is possible. Many of us who missed the entrepreneurship bus, we're very happy to put our hands up and say we would like to mentor. So that's also an opportunity, not just me, there are many people like that who are older, who are close to 50 or 60 and want to participate and keep their brain cells moving and also give back to society as they kind of tell themselves. This is about both the ecosystem and about the need for an ecosystem. That was the reason to put this chart up. I think this is it. This is a pitch deck template. Again, Google has many resources. Ratan Tata pitch deck is the most commonly used one. Google it, it's easy to find. Ultimately, you only have to explain to your investor what is the problem you are trying to solve, what is the solution that you have come up with, and you equipped or well equipped to solve that problem. Who are your team members, and what is the economics to your ability to generate money? As की तारीख में if you don't generate money, no problem, no investor bothers about that. But please show a roadmap to being able to 5, 6 years. Well, slides is pretty much all that is in a pitch deck. There's a link on the bottom of the chart, and if you Google for Ratan Tata pitch deck, it's a well-used template. Last slide. The essence of entrepreneurship: two things need to meet. Opportunities need to meet enterprising individuals. Both have to happen. And VCs or investors actually have more faith in them. VCs will tell you that you, I know, are capable of finding. Even if the first idea you came up with was not worth it, we know that you have the kind of ability that you will find another idea or opportunity to work. But these two have to be met together. I think we'll leave you with this thought that there is a mindset. Innovator, which is constantly thinking and generating opportunity focus. Love what you are working on. Or your friend has loved what you're working on. I love my friend, he loves something, we can still work. It's a long road. Long road. What are the payoff? Because for something like this, there has to be a payoff. The payoff is independence. The payoff is wealth. The payoff is job creation. Society impact. That's why I think entrepreneurship is a career opportunity. Many of you should focus on. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm happy to take questions. Yes.
Thank you, Professor Anuradha, for your excellent informative lecture. That the participants in the board, in fact, I just roughly counted, it is 80 plus. compared to 23 people.
So I'm sure that many of you have questions, so. For online dating.
Go ahead. I will repeat the question you're asking. As long as I can hear, we are good.
Alternate agriculture, I don't think so. So we made a model and myself, my friend. Okay, we are going to do it. Not automated. So we were required to learn because 8 month progress we learned constantly keeping. But then we thought that are not going to work. The boards which were already existing in the market. And I just got
Disheartened.
like we find a problem. We have to learn a technology. So how to approach a technologist or to get that
So once, like I said, sorry. I don't know. Let me try to summarize what he asked me. If everyone could hear, then I won't bother. But essentially, the question he was asking was, we seriously wanted to work on an agri tech idea, but we needed technology mentoring, technical mentoring. One of the conversations we had with Sal was we were wondering how we can get at least IIT Bombay and you guys to work together. And I'm very sure about that. Those three golas: the total market, the service market, the chota gola is enough for me. If I can solve this one opportunity of having you guys and us to work together, so I'm going to try for. But I don't have a global answer. The global answer is the Startup India side. We try very hard to connect people. But I don't know about a systemic answer. I'm going to answer that. Nidhi and IIT, we heard from y'all just now, and we'll see what we can do. So that's it. If anybody else wants to, does Nidhi have a, I'm going to say culture, but the equivalent of hackathons and things to work on, or summits, or boot camps, or workshops?
Something.
You have any time?
Also, regularly, to motivate the students. But yeah, I don't know. But we're trying out with some other collaborations.
Oh, great. Okay.
So,
Actually, often the students have aspiration. The gap is in skill. So the question you're asking is a perfect question, which is but skill on both sides, because you all are at Nidhi, you're not asking the customer side question. If I ask this question to undergraduate students at IIT, I'll have to give them questionnaires of how to go talk to customers. So y'all are different, and therefore the challenges are. But skill is the biggest gap, not the interest or not the aspiration. That's not a gap at all.
we are trying to build up a center with the students. Every year we would like to promote at this
Right.
some 15 lakh rupees. So, but then because of pandemic,
Yeah. No, last 2 years have been.
again the process has started. So hopefully it will be.
Thank you. You were a great audience. Thank you.
On behalf of INAE Mumbai chapter, I want to thank Professor Anuradha Narasimhan for her excellent talk and very interactive session with the students and everybody in the audience. And I want to thank organizer of NEET also for giving this opportunity with coordination of our co-chair Professor R.K. Singh sir. Professor S.K. Kulkarni has given speakers whereabouts, and we are fortunate to listen to madam. And I want to thank again INAE headquarters for giving this awareness platform. And I am sure all of you might have got lots of benefit from the talk and how entrepreneurs can go about it. I just, small information I would like to share from DT. Auto incubation mission is also there, which will provide you lots of opportunity and how to get connected for various solutions. One way they collect solutions, another place they distribute it where this solution can be realized in a product manner. Okay, so with that, I want to thank each and everyone who are participating in this talk offline mode and who are there and online. I can see Professor Grover and Roy Madam and other people. I thank you, sir, Professor Tiwari, for giving the opportunity. Thank you. Thank you so much.